welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Barry comes to us from a slightly smaller airplane hangar. That's
right.
Maybe a little less echoey than last week.
The
Maybe.
door to the panic room is now ajar. So,
yeah, we're working on it. Like I told these guys, the area rug is on order. We're getting there.
Yeah. So if you heard last week's show, you know what we're talking about. But it's better. It sounds better this week.
Good.
And this week, we're going to talk about Titans. We talked about it maybe 3 times that we said we were going to talk about. Now we are. So if you're not watching it, stop and watch it.
Yeah.
Or
Barry finally
don't.
got caught up, so you guys should too.
Episode. As we record this, it's season 3, episode 9 has aired on HBO Max. So more on that. We're also going to go a little more in-depth on, we mentioned the prop store Star Trek auction and that we did buy something. We'll get a little more in-depth on buying, what we bought and how we divvied it up.
And the world's fastest turnaround ever on like an auction
fastest
item.
turnaround, yeah. We'll talk
that
about
was crazy fast.
Yeah. So, and then I know Propster just announced their another giant auction for November. I haven't seen there was only a handful of preview.
Yeah, the catalog's
pictures, right?
not out yet. There were about 8 or 10 items they had in previews, but like one of them was a Return of the Jedi X-Wing model, which I was like, holy crap. That's going to go for a small fortune. So yeah. The catalog I think comes out in a few weeks.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks. They should mail us one for all the money we spent,
and all the promotion they get from us. But yeah,
it's nothing compared to what other people are spending.
This is true.
Oh, no. Drop in the bucket.
Often for smaller things.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. I just hope there's. I still have commuting money, so if I really want to justify it, but we'll talk about that. Okay, and as we mentioned last week, so as we talk about stuff, especially our what's in the boxes and things like that, and in this instance, the Tribbles, we're going to put it on our Instagram. So the shows come out Fridays. And sorry if you're listening to this in the future. And on Friday, we'll upload pictures to Instagram. I guess I will reference the show number because, right, Barry, don't the shows have numbers in...
the artwork on the shows have the numbers, yeah.
The numbers. So, yeah, I know we don't talk about the numbers, but we'll... just so you can match up with what you're listening to with what the pictures are if you care that much, which you should. So, for those counting, this is episode 405.
Yes, right? It is.
It is, okay.
You were looking at me like you were waiting for...
No, I wasn't. It looked like you wanted to say something.
No, I'm just your ethnic man. I go, yes, sir, every time you say something.
I should. Do me a favor, while we're taking care of some housekeeping, if you could throw the show picture in the Dropbox, that would be helpful.
Sure, I do every week.
Do you?
Yeah,
yes.
It goes in that folder.
It does?
Yeah,
maybe I went in there earlier.
Yeah. It might have gone in after. Yeah, maybe it went in after.
It goes in the show number folder?
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah. I do that because Todd used to use them on the website back when he used to update the website.
Back when, yes.
Yeah.
That took you guys to notice, 2 months to notice I wasn't updating. So
no,
I noticed. I just didn't say anything. So. It's all good. Yes, I will do my best. When I get the descriptions early enough and I can do the artwork before it's like 11 o'clock at night on Thursday, then I usually put them in the folder.
We can work out titles earlier, so.
Yeah. Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get all that done. So
now that we've completed the meeting, let's start recording. Oh wait,
isn't this like Festivus where we have the airing of grievances?
That's right.
Barry should get everything from us by 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Absolutely.
Barry, does that work for you?
Barry,
if it was me, I'd say earlier.
I think Barry would be a happy guy speaking in the third person. Yes.
Anyway, that adjourns. Secretary, note that the meeting is adjourned.
Who's taking the minutes?
Okay, let's go random while we're still thinking about actually doing a show. I I have a feeling I know what Barry's going to say. And
I've got a lot of
Todd's
stuff.
gonna say.
So
I'm going to go
I have
first.
2 things.
No.
So, but they're
ahead,
neither.
sure all of us have the same one for sure.
I don't think so. So,
Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about. But Todd, go ahead.
okay, I'm dying to see what Barry thinks we all have. Okay, TV Guide released their list of 100 best TV shows. Okay,
Does
Of
that
all
still
time?
exist?
what's that? That still
Does
exists.
TV Guide still exist?
Is it of all time? The 100 best shows of all time?
No. Current shows. And so a number like last year, Better Call Saul was the best show, but they missed a year, so that dropped off the list. So it's got to be like continuously running.
Wait, the 100 best current
100
shows
best current
that are
shows.
running?
This also includes those shows that have had one season, but a second season will follow would be included. Okay, so I've just highlighted the shows that we've talked about, and I'll run down this quick. In position 98, Resident Alien. Okay, 95, Raised by Wolves, which honestly I didn't know there was another season coming.
There is.
94, Lower Decks. Barry, the Nexium show that you watched on HBO, what was that?
What the hell was the name of that?
Something with an S.
It's not The Vow. Is it The Vow?
No, it was The Vow.
Okay,
yes.
so that's 92.
Not an S.
That's what I thought it was.
Wait, there's going to be another season of that?
There is another season
Yeah.
that's going to follow
Yeah.
the trial.
This is again. So, Shadow
Poor
and
Chloe
Bone,
going
which
to
I watched, I mentioned
prison?
a couple times, is 86. Then we get down to 75, Superman and Lois. 64, The Expanse. 63, The Handmaid's Tale, which, Barry, I think you were watching.
Yeah, which I ruined for Daryl. Sorry, Daryl.
62, Doctor Who. 58, Invincible. 49, Legends of Tomorrow, which I still watch and like.
What? Who wrote this list?
Okay.
You?
That's better than Invincible?
40, yeah, I know. 44, Cobra Kai. 43, Fargo, which is awesome. Okay, this is where it gets a little blurry. 38, The Mandalorian. 37, Loki.
That's
Who
blasphemy.
did it? You said this is Rolling Stone? It sounds like a Rolling Stone list.
This is okay. Then we get down.
Is
then
Zardoz number
then
one?
I would argue that you guys may have heard of some of these shows, but very few other people have. And we get all the way down to 17 For All Mankind. Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad it got in there. Number 6, The Boys. Okay. Number 2, Ted Lasso, which I will cave and watch because there's a lot of pressure on me right now.
No, it's good. It doesn't. It's not Mandalorian.
And number 1, a thing on Paramount Plus called Evil. So
Yeah,
number
really? You
one.
did write that list.
so
You're saying that's the best show currently on the air.
and I won't disagree.
I'm not.
My
not,
other thing,
I may
quick
even watch it.
is, and there's a blurb on each one of these. and
Can
they-
you
they
wait? Can you
explain
read
why.
the top 10 for us?
What's that? Yeah,
I'd like to know the top
Okay.
10.
10 is Hacks on HBO. 9 is Underground Railroad on Amazon. 8 is How To with John Wilson on HBO. 7 is
Never heard of that.
Pose on FX. Then we get to 6, The Boys. The Good Fight, number 5. Search Party on HBO Max, number 4.
Never heard of it.
And then Pen 15, which I guess is penis, on Hulu is 3.
Yeah.
And then Ted Lasso and Evil. But I'm telling you, there's a stretch there running up to like 25 where honestly I have never heard. One of you watched The Flight Attendant, right? Did one of you watch
Yeah,
it?
Flight Attendant was good.
Okay, that's number
I
25.
saw half of it. I never went back and watched the rest
That's
of
number
it.
25. But I'm telling you, there are
Throw me another one
another one.
that you've never heard of.
P Valley,
Yeah, I've heard of it. That's
Blind Spotting.
that's a
Well, Dave
Blind-
sells
Blind
advertising
Spotting?
for TV. He should know most of these.
That's what I'm saying. Other than you guys, I think you
P
guys.
Valley is a Stars show. I
Yeah.
think it's a spin-off of
Queen
Power.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
How many
again,
Real Housewives shows are on that list?
Yeah, there's a lot of and
Dr.
Those are all
Pimple Popper.
those are all dramas.
There's a lot. This Is Us is like way up in the '60s, which is it's and 100 was Masked Singer. So, anyways, it was just an interesting. I found it a very interesting list. But good on evil. My other thing that neither one of you will have or care about is, despite their saying it has been the last season for 4 years in a row, there will be season 13 of Archer next year, which makes me very happy.
Okay, we don't care about that.
I love Archer. It's great, and I'm glad to come back for season 13, despite saying it was going to wrap at season 8. So, yeah. Who's next?
All right, Barry, give us the one that you think we all have, but don't go past it because I need to have something if it's not the same.
No,
one.
well, I've got this and many more. Our man Bill Shatner is going to space at 90 years old.
Yeah, I read that.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear this?
Didn't
Jeff
hear this?
Bezos
No.
is putting him on the next Blue Origin flight.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
This scares the crap out of me because, honestly, he could die. He's 90 years old.
Hey, is that not a...
This is...
Bill Shatner dies in space.
Oh, my God,
Perfect.
yes. We didn't talk about this like 3 weeks ago?
No, they just announced it after we recorded.
He
I didn't
publicly
hear that
said
at
like
all.
a month ago that he would want to go.
Yeah, but
So-
it was announced after we recorded last that he's actually going.
Yes. Yeah. I thought we talked about it when he said he would go, because I said that would be his ego to be like, the first actor to die in space. That would be like,
Well, we're supposed
That's
to
the
see
perfect
him
place
at
for
Rhode
him to
Island
go.
Comic-Con, and we've seen Bill many times before, but now we'll be seeing a Captain Kirk that has actually gone into space.
Wait, when's he going?
It's like next month or something.
I wonder if he's going to miss the convention.
He better not.
well, he's only
I
up
won't-
there for 15 minutes. So
Yeah, it's not like he's doing
True,
a
it's
mission.
only a couple
what I'm
hours. You
wondering
get
will his autograph prices go up? Seriously, the
I
man
just-
never
I
misses
just-
an opportunity to market. So
Look, he's in good shape for 90. But
hell yes.
it is a little
Is he
scary.
really? Is he actually 90? Or are you
90.
saying that?
No, he's 90.
Jesus Christ!
He looks great for 90. Don't get me wrong.
Oh my God!
That's scary to me. Anyway, I think it's awesome, but it's a little scary to me. He's a hero of ours. I want him to be around forever. I don't want this to be his legacy that he died on a Blue
Bill
Origin
Shatner
flight.
is-
Would you rather have him fall down and break his hip and die? Wouldn't you rather have him die in
No,
space?
I'd rather have him drift off quietly into the night. But that's
No,
not
it's
Bill's
got to
way.
be dramatic.
Oh my God! It's like, yeah. I don't think I would want to be on that flight with him.
I
feel like
want
he's,
him
like,
to hit
grab
the button that
controls and just,
jettisons
like-
the pod,
Yep.
like in what was that one episode where he jettisons the pod of his buddy?
Yep.
That's an early episode.
I want him to
which
do
one
a
it was.
soliloquy on his deathbed that is filmed so we can all see him do his last Shakespearean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
interesting.
All right, so
right, I'm gonna go 'cause
I'm
I
going to
can't-
also jump in as Todd did with another one because this is targeted at
Okay,
you, Dave.
wait a minute. Is there a risk that Dave might have this other one?
It doesn't make. Go ahead.
I
Whatever.
don't think so.
Okay.
Cinema Blend is reporting.
Ugh, another one of these bullshit sites.
I don't mind Cinema Blend so much. They're pretty good. Haley Atwell has come to her senses and is no longer dating Tom
Yeah,
Cruise,
yeah.
even though they never officially
Right.
admitted they were dating.
This is her publicist got together with his publicist and said, "No one's buying these fake dating stories, so why don't we say they've broken up and we can get a little bit more press?"
Or they finally stopped
so
filming.
now there's an opportunity for me to step in and date
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I was going to say, it's like this kind of works out for both you and Barry, really.
Yeah. We should double date.
We could double date,
because
yeah.
both of your one and onlys are back in the market.
That's right. All right, you can go now, Dave. And then I have.
How about
I
that
have a couple
Palm?
more.
He was dating Palm too.
Yeah.
No, he was at the.
Well,
it
he was at
Wimbledon or
the
US
Wimbledon with both of them, but
With
all
both
the
of them.
photos cropped out Palm and just showed him and Haley as
I
if
don't
they
know
was-
why. She's cute too.
Yeah,
Because
because it's a more salacious story if he's just there with her.
girl with antennas. I'm surprised. This is something you probably had. So, Diego Luna reports that Andor has wrapped filming,
Yep.
and it'll be 12 episodes, and there will be familiar faces. Interesting. So, in Rogue One, there are no familiar faces,
A
right?
handful of familiar faces. We've got
Like who?
Mon Mothma, who I think will be
Okay.
in the show.
And you got
R2 and 3PO
Tarkin
are there. You got potential for Tarkin. You've got the potential for Krennic. I mean, there's a...
No. Well, I'm saying I'm thinking familiar other than Rogue One. I'm wondering.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
That'd be interesting. So everyone's alive during that time, so
little Admiral Akbar action.
it's so in theory, what's it like? Say 3 years before the Battle of Yavin?
I think they're saying it's 3 years before, yeah.
So everybody's there.
I would like to see...
Here we go again.
People...
We need to see... What did we want to see you and Obi-Wan walk through the background of?
Yeah.
Well, I would be cool with any of the people tied to the rebellion showing up. I don't need to see a young Han Solo in this or like anything like that. Like, I'd be okay with it.
He's not even young.
He's not
really.
young at this point.
He's Harrison.
Right.
He's like American graffiti era Harrison Ford at this point.
He should be driving through with that hat on.
He should.
Oh, that would be great. Bob, whatever his character's name was.
Falva.
Alfalfa.
Anyway, so that's interesting. That's exciting. So that's coming early to 2022.
So
I don't think they've given us a date yet, but yeah.
Yeah.
Could they get away with doing like 14, 15-year-old Leia, recasting that without people getting all like...
No, well, would it be she'd be that young? I mean,
well, she's
was
like
what, 18-ish?
17, 18 in A New Hope. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She'd
be about 15.
They could. I mean, they've gotten the deep
anybody.
fake stuff down so well that they could.
I think they could cast.
Fisher.
I mean, for that age, I think they could cast another actress without it being an issue.
Yeah.
Or they've certainly There's reports that they've cast a child actor for her role for Obi-Wan. So, could be interesting.
Interesting. Could be interesting. All right, what else you got, Barry?
So I read this yesterday. Alan Taylor, director of Thor: The Dark World, says he would love to do a Snyder Cut style re-edit of the movie. He said that the studio changed the tone of what they wanted on him midway through the production, and he never got to do his version of it. He doesn't expect he will ever get the opportunity.
Yeah, it's over, Johnny. No one cares.
Yeah. But yeah, he's saying that they wanted one thing, and then they decided they didn't want it halfway through filming, and that's why the movie turned out the way it did.
If that was the only Thor, that we've had a better Thor since then, and we're probably going to have a better Thor.
I would say technically we've had
next
two better Thors. We had a better Thor before, and we had a better Thor afterwards.
No, I'm saying after that movie.
It's not
exactly.
like it was, but.
And they're already making the next one, so it doesn't make any sense to go back and re-edit this one unless...
I think he feels bad because that
Rainbow Bridge has moved on. So
and
that
he
movie's
even said,
probably at the bottom of the list.
He even said that
22.
He acknowledges it's probably the worst of all of the Marvel movies, and he would like an opportunity to rectify that. But
what's the worst?
Iron Man 2.
Oh, I don't think so.
You got to hang up about Iron Man 2.
I like Iron Man.
Barry. Iron Man 2 is the Terminator Dark Fate of the Marvel universe.
It is not.
It's awesome.
It is. It's like, oh God, no.
I don't know why you hate that so much. It's not great. Bad. It's not horrific.
Every scene that Scarlett Johansson is not in is bad in that movie.
Well, and I still don't have my crystal skull on my new desk here, but I don't even think that The Dark World's that bad. I mean,
there has to be a worse one.
There is. Hulk is a worse Marvel
It's not
movie.
a Marvel movie. That's a Universal
No. Incredible Hulk isn't that bad. The Hulk is horrible.
Right.
That doesn't
Incredible
count.
Hulk isn't that bad. I actually think that at the point that they can deep fake...
You think it's better than Dark World? I mean, I agree.
I don't
it's
think.
not that
The
bad,
problem is,
dark.
I don't think it's better. I feel like it just doesn't matter. It's less important to the arc, so thereby it gets pushed to the side. I mean, Dark World's not an awful movie, but
it's got
there's
Natalie Portman in
22
it.
or so movies. One's got to be the worst. To me, that's the worst.
Yeah, it probably is the worst, but that's like you go back to the old Star Trek and pizza. It's
the worst pizza.
It's the worst, but it's still not.
What's the worst Star Trek? Lower
Deep Space
Decks.
Nine.
No.
It's nah,
There'd
Deep Space
be
Nine.
fist
No,
fights
excuse
if you
me.
say that to people.
I know.
I'd agree with that.
You would agree
All right,
that Deep Space Nine was the worst?
Deep Space Nine, when it's great, is great. There's a lot of slogging through some of that stuff.
Talk about
First couple
slogging.
seasons are
Rewatch-
awful.
Rewatch some of Voyager.
I
Seriously.
opened a can of worms. Yeah, but Voyager at least had 7 of 9 for most of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I put Jadzia Dax up against 7-9 any day and watch that unfold.
But Deep Space Nine had Morn and the Ferengis, and it was just like, oh, enough.
There was a Morn sighting in that.
There was a Morn sighting in that episode, yes.
Sorry,
There's
people. That was an
probably-
aside to a previous conversation. But anyway.
There's probably 4.5 good seasons of every one of those series.
Somewhere
No,
in
that's
that
maybe
range.
less of
Somewhere in that
Voyager.
range.
Hey, that reminds me, today, as we record this, today is the 35th anniversary of the debut of Next Generation.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
No.
35
And it was
years.
20 of Enterprise. And I'm curious. I wish I had time to go back. Enterprise is probably not as bad as people make it out. There's some very good episodes.
Because you have seen the entire series, rewatch that series a season at a time, starting with the final season. And then go to the season before that, and then go to the season before that. Because you don't need it for continuity. You already have the continuity in your head. Okay? The final season of that was very, very good.
Yeah,
and they meandered a lot in the first season. The second season, they tried to go in one arc, and it was just too much. But that final season, they swung for the fences, and they did some of the best Trek ever in that season. So,
My really quick last thing, just an update on that Johnny Ramone guitar I was talking about. It sold for $937,500.
What?
Barry
That's
lost
crazy.
it. Barry
That's-
lost it at $925.
That's with the buyer's premium, but it sold. Yeah, it sold for shy of $1 million.
That's probably more than the Ramones made in their career.
It's unfortunately their legacy. They are way more beloved now, in hindsight, than they were when they were still active.
Just like Picasso.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. So, here's a couple things. I'll just run through quick.
Dave, you haven't gone yet?
No, I did go. I went with the Andor thing,
Okay.
but a couple others I wrote down just because as backups. Boys spin-off series is a go at Amazon. We didn't know anything about it. Easy. Babylon 5 reboot, or not even reboot, prequel, sequel at the CW is getting a lot of consideration.
Well, they can film that on an iPhone now and have it look better than the original show.
That's for you, Jim Bush.
That was for you, Jim Bush.
Jim loves that. But it could be interesting.
I love it too, and I will say, if you're going to rewatch it, watch it on an iPhone, because if you watch it on anything bigger than that,
I couldn't get through. It is some of the best sci-fi that's ever been filmed for television. Story-wise, the effects are trapped horribly in the 90s. Okay, more on that later. And I'm surprised. This is hot off the presses that I just read on something. Hasbro's putting out a George Lucas Stormtrooper.
Yes,
I had it
Black
on my
Series.
list.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't do it.
Well, I had a couple because they announced that today. It goes on sale tomorrow. But on Monday, they actually also announced 3 figures that are coming on Droids cards. And they're doing R2-D2, C-3PO, and Boba Fett in the styling of the original Droids figures from, I guess, 85, 86, whatever that was. And then today they announced a 6-inch Black Series Stormtrooper with George Lucas's head, which goes on sale at 1 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern Time.
And you're going to get it.
You know what? I'll order one. It's George Lucas on a Stormtrooper. Come on.
That's fine.
$20.
You like Stormtroopers.
Are the heads interchangeable in those, like on Marvel Legends?
I think they are, yeah.
Because I'd put them on Obi-Wan. I don't know, a Stormtrooper. It just seems, yeah.
I think the more modern Black Series figures, they all have the ball joint head that just pops on. So, yeah.
You know whose heads are interchangeable? Fanboy Collectibles.
Okay. How do I get out of this?
Okay, that is the segue of segues.
They're probably not, but Mando pops. Speaking of heads and helmets, there's a pop of Mando with his helmet off, which is interesting. Him and Grogu. There's a Bo-Katan, there's an Ahsoka. There's, what else? Oh, I don't know. Hot toys and sideshow and Kotobukias and statues. Plenty of statues. Any statue you need. Check them out.
Hot Toys Hydra Stomper, giant Hot Toys robot.
Yeah. If you need that, get that.
In two versions.
Yeah. With and without?
One
without Steve Rogers,
One that I might pre-order.
So, before Todd gets to it, make sure you pre-order, buy stuff that's in stock. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Check them out, I believe, at New York Comic Con. And tell them to Reagan Joe sang it. Okay. That was 25 minutes. Okay, so Titans. If you are watching Flash or Batwoman or Stargirl or Supergirl, you should smack yourself in the face and watch Titans instead, because it's so much better than all those shows.
I'm going to pose this question the way Stephen Colbert used to pose questions. So, great superhero show or greatest ever superhero show?
It's so funny. I mean, there would have been a time when we'd be like, Flash is the best superhero show we've ever seen, or Arrow is the best superhero show we've ever seen. Those sort of fell by the wayside and kind of sucked. I think Titans has gotten better. I mean, season 1 was good. There's a lot of cool things. I think season 3 is better than season 1 and 2.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's definitely found its direction. The characters have matured. The characters are,
we're not all this wishy-washy
it's not.
bullshit.
And there's a lot less angst there. And they've done some really different things. This most recent episode 9, okay, that had none of the primary cast in it at all, was fantastic. It was a serious,
spoilers, by the way.
It was a serious reach story wise from what they've been doing, but I think it was great, and I think it was actually like a perfect episode. It was
also. I mean, I'll avoid major spoilers, but there's a trope of superhero characters coming back from the dead that has been on in every superhero show and every comic book. I thought that they did that in a way that actually was different than anything I'd seen before and made a little bit more sense and was a little more credible than just the character coming out of the Lazarus pit. And
and that is and that's one of the things that I think was very, very good about this. I liked how. I mean, are we spoiling here?
Yeah.
Okay. I liked
if
how
you haven't watched it and you're gonna.
I liked how they brought
now.
Hank into it, and I loved how they got Hank out of it.
I first thought, okay, Hank may come back too, and then I'm like, no, he's going to be the hero and stay back.
The last we were going to see of him was on the bridge, and that they were just basically going to be separated, and it was going to be, that's what you do when you're a hero. Sometimes you're the guy that's left behind, but then to reunite him with his brother from 2 seasons ago, who we had to be reminded in the previews of who he was.
I was glad that I saw that preview too, because I might not have remembered.
I didn't remember.
Yeah, they teed it up properly, but that was great. That was a great way to take that character off the board fully and completely. I mean, how do you come back when your body is blown all over Wayne Manor?
He's also in another series. I think he's doing the Jack Reacher series, who he's perfect
Which I
for.
think he would be,
That's what was in the back of my head too.
And he was perfect Hank Hall, and that was, like I said, I think that was a great episode. It reintroduced you to characters, introduced you to characters. I love the idea that she was perfectly content with being done, and that she'd been basically fighting her whole life, and it just was, she was ready for what came next, and because she had to save somebody else, she got pulled back from that.
It's interesting, and they do this. So the show has its storyline, and then they'll do like standalone episodes that sort of give you background, which is most of the time is good. This week, I'm like, I feel like I really want to get on with the story, and then I'm like, oh, here's Raven, and I'm like, are we going to go through? But I was happily surprised that the show was so good.
How they handled that was great, and I kind of had it with that character. To be honest with you, it was a little too much angst, and I thought
I'm glad she hasn't been there. I feel like she's matured too. If we're going to see more
matured,
of her,
and I think that, but there's a reason why. It's like I said, it's great. It's been really, really good.
Yeah.
I think I said this when the last time we talked about the show, which probably was either sometime last season. I never read Teen Titans. I never knew anything about it. So like I didn't have the characters. I didn't know any of this. So I don't have any preconceived or any baggage with these characters. And so I'm happy. I'm enjoying that they're taking, like, I guess again we're spoiling. So like Jason, they made him a bad guy.
Which is what's happened in the comics.
Yeah,
And
I read
I'm
a section
hoping that they
in there.
don't just let him back in with open arms at the end of this. There have to be some consequences for what he's done.
Jesus, he killed people.
Yeah,
I hope not.
I have some thoughts on that maybe we'll talk about later. But honestly, if they wanted to, I'll say this right now. If they wanted to bring him back, he should have been on the train. Think about that. So the Jason that's the black hood or the red hood doesn't have Jason's soul. So that would have been a way of doing it. That basically those two things were separated. But
You got to pay for what he's done, though.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
But
gone
I'm saying,
too
absent
far.
something like
Well,
that.
in the what's the Red Hood in the comics? Is he still a bad guy,
No,
or
he's more on the line, and he's drifting more towards being a hero, and he's more like Black Widow making up for past things.
Yeah, but so this Red Hood. I mean, he killed one of them.
Oh, and that's
He can't.
and,
there's no coming back from
kills
that.
innocent people, and that's in the
Yeah.
comic. The Black Hood basically is the Punisher.
Right.
He's doing the Punisher kind of thing. He's killing.
I love
monsters
the line,
and, that kind of thing.
where Hank is like, he looks like a combo of Deathstroke and the Gimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that mask that he's wearing, I think I commented to you early on. They gave it like a line where the mouth goes. It looks like an Iron Man helmet almost.
Yeah, it
which
kind
I
of
was
does,
kind of
but
like.
it's yeah. It is evocative of the
But-
mask that he's worn for
yeah.
a while, and again, like I said, I like it. I like what they've done with the show.
And it's dark. It's not.
dark.
I mean, it is. It's dark, and it's fully R-rated. I mean, it's not
sure is.
I like
yeah.
like
I like
Flash.
Superboy a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
I think they walk the line between him. They've made him a unique character. He's not young Superman. He is a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, and because of that, he's got other attributes that Superman doesn't have. Every moment that Krypto is on screen is freaking awesome.
Oh, it's the
I love
best.
Krypto. Yeah,
Crypto's
he's
the
great.
best.
So great.
I want to
Especially
see
in
more
that
of
fight
him
scene
every episode.
Previous episode?
They don't overuse him, but every time he just shows up and it's like, oh yeah, the dog's got heat vision. It's like, it's so
I
great.
love Crypto.
It is so great.
I will
Yeah.
say this, and I know that it's also a comic book thing that storylines get reused and you see the same cut. I was a little disappointed that, like, the main thing that's happened here is that he's used the water supply to
Yeah.
like I was kind of like, we've seen that before. I would have rather seen another
And by
way of-
Scarecrow, no less.
right. That's what I mean. I would have rather seen another way for Scarecrow to distribute his
Yeah.
I do
I'll
think
give you
this
that,
is
but-
the best incarnation of Jonathan Crane that we've ever seen in any format. They've always just been maniacal and crazy, and this guy is manipulative. He's extremely manipulative, and I think they actually brought in a good actor to play him, and I think he's doing a good job with it. And I think it's pretty well fleshed out, and I think it's interesting, and it's also compelling that this is the guy that's pulling, Red Hood's strings, not fully responsible for his decisions, but as he's a weak character that needs a mentor, and he's the
he's
replacement.
mentoring him through.
He's the replacement
but he's
mentor.
also chemically, he's destabilized him through drugs.
But what I'm saying, but he's still this is a kid who's, very much needs that father figure, and he's replaced his previous ones. Yeah, I think it's good. I really, really like it. I've enjoyed every single episode. They've done, like I said, some really cool stuff that's out there. Very different show on HBO.
Yeah, well, there was full frontal nudity in episode 8.
Yep.
Yeah. And Dick Grayson character, and I do think whether it was planned or just realized that they needed to do it, his character has developed. He, season 1, he was just still Robin. He's getting out from Batman's shadow. And here in season 3, he's definitely, he's the leader he needs to be for these Teen Titans, which, and Bruce Wayne is in it too. If you haven't seen it, Batman, we don't see him as Batman, but he's off the rails. I mean, that freaking guy, especially this episode, that was a little much, like Jesus. But, he definitely has stepped up. I'm glad. Angst is a good word. In the first 2 seasons, there was one angst-filled deal after the other, and they've kind of gotten away from all that, which is good. There's still some, but it's like, let's do the job at hand, and we don't need to be like.
It's not Teen Titans. There are a couple of teenage.
Right. Oh yeah. No, it's
characters, but there's a bunch of characters that are also older than that.
So that's why they call it Titans. It's definitely not Teen Titans.
When Titans became really good was in the 1980s, in the George Perez era, when they dropped Teen. When it just became
That's when
Titans.
I started reading it, and there was, Starfire, and Robin was his own guy. He had.
Yep.
I remember I had the run of him when he went from Robin to Nightwing, which we've seen here, and that was the George Perez stuff. That was really good. For the life of me, I can't remember who the other characters were, but they weren't all these people.
No, well, you did have Raven and Kid Flash. I think was the only one missing, really. That was part of the main. Starfire was there. Yeah, it was basically Kid Flash.
I gotta look him up. I have him in the box somewhere.
Yeah,
it's definitely good. And the Batman angle is a whole different Batman we're seeing. I mean, understandably.
Yeah, I mean this is a very kind of dark and damaged Batman. And I gotta say, he does a better job with that than I had expected. But I'm still, again, he's still
a scrawny 65-year-old dude. He needs to not. He's not Batman.
Yeah, he is not Batman, and that's
but he's.
I was looking at him.
He's still making bad choices too.
Oh, there's no question. I mean,
he's not been able to get out of his own way, even at a more advanced age, which is kind of in keeping with the character.
Predictively, okay. Is there a reason for this, or is this just? Because I think Crane was somehow poisoning him or doing something like this. I think there's going to be a reason for this. I think...
I didn't see that.
I do think, because what very likely was a suicide attempt is a very bold stroke for a character that is...
That is a hugely bold thing
for the mainstay of this, for the mainstay of this company. And... I think for that to get approval, I think there's going to have to be an explanation for this.
That's a good point, because when you really get down to it, if you look from the outside, it's like this show basically took Batman. Again, spoilers, he tried to kill himself. Like, that's pretty ballsy in 80 plus years of Batman.
Absolutely, and that's where
they would do that.
I think I really wonder whether Crane has got his hooks in him in a way that we don't realize, and well,
he's also he seems pretty distraught over his failure with Jason. So
and the Joker. He killed the Joker, right?
The Joker could not have killed Jason, could not have done what he did to Barbara, had he not continued to basically just beat him up and lock him up. So it's his code, but his code is also the reason why people close to him are dead or very damaged.
You mentioned Barbara. I just got to say, I think she's kind of cute.
I do think she's kind of cute.
Yeah.
So,
and she's at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Is she really?
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, that's great.
There was a little video today on something. She speaks with a Southern accent. It seems like, unless she was just putting it on.
No, she does. I've seen her in something else. I didn't realize it was her until I looked her up. But
yeah, she's going to be there.
Oh, excellent.
And so's a couple people. So's Red Hood. I thought there was someone else.
In the last couple of weeks, they've added a bunch of people. Rhode Island Comic Con's always a good show for guests, but it's really stacking up.
Yeah, we'll have to interview her.
I would say I would probably.
Yeah,
it's interesting. And again, I wasn't sure what they were going to do with that character, and it's been interesting. I mean, there's several different incarnations of Batman where Barbara Gordon has gone on to become commissioner. They're usually further down the timeline, but
yeah, I think it's a little odd that she's so young, yet they've made her the commissioner of Gotham Police.
It most definitely is. But the other thing, though, is in a lot of cities, commissioner is a appointed position. It's not it's a political position. It's not necessarily like the the colonel or the highest ranking police officer, the way it is in some organizations. So, she could well be the police commissioner based on, like whatever degrees she had and her, obviously family connections and whatnot that, she was perceived as stepping in that role. It is a stretch, but it's there's
a lot of people from The Boys, from Mandalorian.
I think the whole cast of Cobra Kai's there.
Cobra Kai. Peyton List, not the good one. No offense. Oh, Savannah Welsh. There she is. Autograph, $35. I'm in for that.
Me too.
That's cheap.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So
the guy from the Warriors is charging more. What's up with that?
Well, he's got fewer years to collect on,
and he's got a lot of years of $10 autographs to make up for.
Yeah,
Shatner's here. Autograph, $300.
No, it's like 100, right? I think
it's 100. Interesting.
And he's either going to be dead or returned from space. So,
oh God, don't do that.
The banana splits are charging more than Barbara Gordon. Anyway. So
come back to us, Dave.
So, again, like I said, I really like it. Can you jump in right now, or did you have to watch the first 2 seasons?
It certainly helps. I mean, could you? Sure, but you'd be missing a lot.
They're
of
short.
Context.
I mean, it's not like. I mean, they're not short. They're all 13, I think, 12 or 13, right?
Yeah, they're only like 45 minutes apiece.
You have to.
If you spent any time watching The Flash,
but
get a palate cleanser.
Understand that this show gets progressively better as it goes along, and as do the characters. And I think that, like I said, I think it's really, really good. I think it's probably, I would say, if you were going to say superhero TV shows, I would say it's on the level with The Boys. So, and that's extremely high up for me. So,
interesting. If it was first 3 seasons of Arrow, Flash, and then this, this is edgy. It's super edgy.
This has had the ability to be edgier than those shows ever could be. But I mean, look, those shows were great in their first couple seasons. This has been great in its first couple seasons. Like, so hopefully.
Yeah, I just had no memory of Flash being good. I don't know why.
It was good early.
Hard to get over the mirror universe stuff.
It was less of a soap opera.
Anyway, but check it out. You should be watching it.
In an environment where we've seen a ton of.
I'd just say the other thing with Flash is we are crushed under the crippling weight of 24 episode seasons. And it's like, 13 tighter episodes of anything is just, it's much better. And
24 of the same freaking storyline,
that's what I'm saying.
please.
But we've seen so much good superhero content that we've definitely over the last 10 years all become much more discerning too. Like,
yeah. And the interesting thing with like Titans is
you can't just give us just okay mediocre stuff. It's got to be great.
The interesting thing with Titans is people just keep predicting that the bubble has burst on this genre, and this has shown that they can do some different stuff and still make it interesting. So, as did honestly Invincible. So,
I'll say this too. I find this series to be far more interesting than almost all of the DC movies. So, I mean, the DC, other than Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman. And,
again, how low a bar could that be?
Still, to think about what they've been able to achieve on TV versus these hundreds of $1 million theatrical releases, it's like...
I absolutely can't disagree with you there. So I got one last question for both of you. Okay?
Donna.
Okay, really? Good. Barry? I was going to say Don or Donna. So...
Who's my favorite on the show?
I was going to say Dawn or Donna, but I guess you can open it up. And if please
I would say Dawn.
Please don't say Raven because that's creepy.
Dawn or Barbara right now.
Or Barbara, yeah.
Kind of digging Barbara.
Yeah. Donna. It's Donna.
So that is Titans. Check it out. Okay, prop store. So let's moving right along. So we said the prop store Star Trek auction. We bid. We actually won one of the many.
Lots of Tribbles.
And Barry or one of you alluded to the fact that that auction was Thursday, whatever day that was. Was it Thursday or Friday?
Something like that.
It was Thursday. Yeah,
it was Thursday. The auction finished. I got an invoice, paid for it, and they were at my house the following Wednesday, which is it's ridiculously fast.
Yep.
Never seen such a thing. So definitely check out our Instagram. There's pictures of the Tribbles, the Regular Joe's podcast. So if so we got 6 Tribbles. We're each getting 2.
He struggled a bit with that math. He just did.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I was looking for a picture. So basically, when you see the pictures, we got sort of a black and white one, a gray one, a light tan one, a dark brown one, a medium brown one, and a light brown one. The last time we bought Tribbles together, we had a hard time. Todd was like, "I want the brown one," when we were all thinking that was the tan one. So.
Yep.
So.
Right, and we did this fully well knowing that we were going to have to figure out a way to divide them up and figure out who gets which ones and. Thankfully they're all different, so it's not like there was 3 of the same color and we had, I say thankfully, but that might have actually made it easier. So we had to sort of go through a process of elimination to figure out which one each of us were getting. Somewhat
uniquely in this version of the process, we actually gave each of the Tribbles names.
So we could distinguish
them one from each other. So the black and white one, I thought this was actually really good, Dave, is
Cruella.
Okay. The going in the darker one or the grayish kind of grayish one.
The all gray one.
The all gray one is
Silvio.
That was yours.
Silvio
named that
from Sopranos.
And
it's very kind of slicked down too. It does. It's got that.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And the last one from the first round is Andy Warhol. And
Andy Warhol was this light blonde, very light blonde.
Yep,
Todd came up with that too.
Yep.
And then that left the 4 of the brown tan family. So I don't know what we named first. One was sort of this orangey color. I believe I named it Donald Trump.
We knew that was just a placeholder, though.
Yeah, we went with Trump on that.
Yeah. And then there's sort of an auburn one that we named Tanya Roberts because she had that same auburn hair. And then there's this brown one that was a little spiky. And I don't know. I think we named that Todd because it looked exactly like his
Todd's hair.
It looks like my hair. So, yeah. Yep.
So we were able to distinguish which ones
Yeah, it made it
we
easier
wanted-
to do it by name than rather than just by color.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we always got the colors
And
confused.
what did we end up redoing the Trump one with as?
No, we called it
No,
Trump.
we left him Trump.
Oh, I thought we were going to change that to something. I thought there was
No,
something
we
else.
decided it was just too perfect.
Okay.
He did get voted out, but we still kept the name.
Okay.
So we did 2 rounds. Todd graciously enough suggested I go first because he believes the last time we bought Tribbles,
He did
I
go
went
last. I got my
Okay.
first choice last time. Barry got the second choice, and Dave got the third. So
Barry's got to go first next time for Tribbles because he's been second both times. So
I remember
we did
things like
Dave-
this because I'm one of 5 kids, and I almost never got to pick first. So thank you. It was a big moment for you guys 2 years ago.
Yeah. So we did Dave, Barry, Todd, and then to keep it fair, we went in reverse order: Todd, Barry, Dave, because Todd would have, if he went third, would have wound up with no choice.
So
So first round, I picked Cruella, which is the black and white one. Again, refer to the pictures. Barry,
I picked Silvio.
he picked Silvio, which is a cool looking
it's
gray
a really
one.
cool looking gray one. Yeah.
And Todd, what did you pick
I have
first?
Andy Warhol.
You have Andy Warhol. And then you went the next choice, which you picked.
I picked Todd because
Of course
Andy
you
Warhol
picked
and
Todd.
Todd have the most contrast between the two of them. So
Exactly. That was key into what the decision.
because
So
my
Barry,
previous
and you
one,
went.
my Deep Space Nine one, is kind of a medium brown, and so now I got this whole kind of spectrum going. So
Right. So then and I picked Trump. I didn't vote for Trump, but I picked Trump
Yeah.
because similarly like the one that I got from the Deep Space Nine auction is white with a little bit of black in it. So now I have a dark gray and
it's
an
actually
orangey.
it's your other one's like the anti Cruella. It's like the negative.
Yeah,
of
it's the
Cruella.
opposite of Cruella.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But Trump was very much contrast with Silvio.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
it's
good.
also good. Yep.
And then I got Tanya Roberts, which I've had in the past.
I think a lot of people have.
I met her at a show way back. She was lovely. And I mean, anything would have been contrast really to
Yeah, Cruella is a
so-
unique looking Tribble. So
Yeah, except for maybe Silvio. They were sort of the same hue. And it was interesting, even surprising to us. So when we got the Deep Space Nine Tribbles, I'd say they are maybe... I'm holding my hands up so you can see, but they're like 5 inches across,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
4.
they're like
These
a nice
are
size
much
grapefruit.
bigger.
These are bigger.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah.
I would say mine is the size of when it's puffed up, it's the size of a grapefruit. Yeah.
Yeah, these were much bigger. I mean, these were easily 6+ inches across.
They're well-fed Tribbles.
They are well-fed Tribbles.
Yeah.
So they, you know,
And if you strip the fur off, they're almost entirely meat.
it's all
Like a
meat.
scallop.
Scallop of bloody.
If you haven't, and these
But
are all
bloody.
from the Trouble with Edward short trek.
If you have not
Which
seen
is-
this, honestly, it's
Oh my
it's only
God.
15 minutes of your life, and it's
It's
awesome.
so
It's
the
good.
best.
It's like everything that Trek shouldn't be, and it's hilarious. It's just like
It's the origin story of Tribbles,
Tribbles,
basically.
really. Yes.
I don't know that I would have felt like I needed more Tribbles because, I mean, having a
Yeah.
screen used Tribble is awesome. But after seeing that short trek and then these coming up for sale, it was a no-brainer. I had to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am
Yeah,
not an
yeah.
idiot.
It's a great episode, and the more I've watched it twice since we've done this auction, and it's creepier every time we watch it. Our goal is to have Tribbles from everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously the next the original series
It's going to
is
be the trickiest.
Yeah, we've got to find 3 original series Tribbles next.
that ain't
That's
gonna be
not
easy.
going to be
And
easy.
I don't think you could authenticate them.
No.
We're lucky enough to have gotten Deep Space Nine, which was filmed 20 years ago at this point.
And I would also,
mean,
I
don't
just
even-
actually added it to the same case. Dave and I at least have a Tribbles, Trouble with Tribbles original script signed by David Gerald. So,
Yeah.
so that's, I have that displayed with it. At the time, I didn't realize I was going down like a Tribble bent in my collection, but now it's like, it's all kind of gelling. So
Didn't when we interviewed the Tribbles, didn't they say that they at one point had original Tribbles and that they were not really all that impressive. I mean,
that's
wouldn't
what,
have made
that's what
them.
everybody has said, and that when you actually get an authentic one, it looks less. It looks like less than the reproduced ones.
Yeah.
So, and you got Dave. You got a Roddenberry one, right? One from one of the ones that the
I have a Roddenberry one with it's a big one with the thing that
with the
shakes
box.
in
Yeah,
it.
I've got that too.
Yeah, and I have a Hallmark one, which is a small one that shakes. You guys should track those down if you don't
We need
have
them
them
now. So
yeah, they actually made a nice little Tribble. It's supposed to be an ornament, but it's got a good mechanism in it and stuff. Now there used to be old Tribbles, and I probably had one as a kid. Like they used to sell back in the 70s when they were. But
Dave, let me ask you this: weren't those like pink and green and blue and stuff? Because I remember there being Tribbles for sale, like at like the Star Trek shows and stuff like that, that I thought were commercially produced.
For the life
but they
of me,
were like cartoon
I
colors,
don't know.
not like.
I wonder if they were done in. We do need a painting
cells.
from the animation cell with a Tribble in it.
Yeah.
But somebody also sells. Weren't there mean Tribbles in the mirror universe of something? Was it of Enterprise? Or
that.
I thought there's mirror universe Tribbles somewhere. Have to look that. We got to do some investigation so we have all versions of Tribbles.
Yeah. Because it's not like the three of us have ever gotten obsessed with something before. So
No.
Yeah.
No, this is a first for me.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So anyway, we're happy with our Tribbles. We're working on display methods right now. I'm going to make a plaque for us that says the Trouble with Edward and stuff. So check out the Instagram. There'll be some pictures. I'll have pictures from the auction, and then I'll have pictures. I took some pictures here because they're here at my house until we distribute them to
And we do have a photo with the
homes.
names of each one superimposed that we can post.
Yeah, if you could throw... I only have one... The picture I grabbed out of the thing was small. That was in the
Okay.
text.
Yeah, I
in the
have that.
Chat.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, so send me another one. So, that is the Tribble story. Hopefully we'll find more. I gotta look into that. Alright, let's go quickly what's in the box. We're already at an hour.
No, we're not.
Todd.
When you take out that
I was going
5
to say,
minutes
we're
of
not
that
at an hour.
part we have to edit out, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
So, one of my favorite toys ever, which you can still get, is the Nerf laser tag gun set.
Oh, I didn't know Nerf made
Yeah,
it.
and so interestingly, the only way you can buy these now is from Amazon. They're an Amazon exclusive, and they come in like brown cardboard boxes, in plastic bags inside of brown cardboard boxes with the original instructions. And it's like there's a warehouse full of these somewhere. And they're the same price they've always ever been. They're about $70 a set, but these things are freaking awesome. And I love that they're like, I mean, I have gigantic size hands, but they fit my hand. And these are just an absolute blast to play with. We have a part of our duties at school is periodically we're going to have our students, our advisees come over for basically activities at our house. So I bought a batch of these things, just like I had at my previous school, because they're just absolutely a ton of fun. And so, anyways.
So they don't shoot projectiles, they just are laser,
it's
or
just
they
light,
do both?
And the great thing with this is that the receiver is on the top. So when you're playing, you're shooting at somebody who's also holding one of these. So there's no vest to strap on. There's nothing really to lose. They do take 6 AAA batteries, but they last a long, long time, and which is good because it's a pain to change the batteries. You got to take screws out. But they're just awesome. And again, I had bought several sets of these at my previous school. I think there were probably 18 of them in total. In over 10 years, we'd probably had 3 go out of service, and those were usually like banged into things and stuff like that. But they're amazingly rugged, and they're just a ton of fun. And they're just, like I said, they're very, very durable, and it's an awesome product. and yeah, I love them. So, anyways, they're the laser tag Phoenix LTX series guns, and you can get them from Amazon. And yeah, so
That's cool.
yep. So,
Cool.
Dave, what do you got?
Are you doing multiple things, Barry?
Yeah, I've got you and I are doing something that's the same, and then I've got one other quick one.
All right. So, Barry and I are members of the Star Wars Autograph Universe Facebook group, who started as a Facebook group where you just sort of chat amongst yourselves, and has really turned into the premier celebrity signing group. I mean, they're getting everybody.
Yeah, they're doing tons of sit down signings with Star Wars, Star Trek, all kinds of Marvel,
all kinds
characters,
of people.
actors, and they're doing it right. I mean, they're letting you send your own stuff in. They've got their own hologram sticker now for authentication. They've really taken it to a whole nother level, which is only over. I mean, in a couple of years, they've really turned it from you said,
I think really in the last year they've really
from a collecting
built it out. So
forum group to a business, which good for them. I mean, they got Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, which
it's
is
incredible.
Not easy
They're the ones that I used to get my Harrison Ford autograph a couple years ago, and
me as well.
Just to show you that's the caliber of people they're dealing with, which is amazing.
Yeah. So they just did a signing with Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
And I had I have him on a photo. So I have I have 3 Obi-Wan Master Replicas lightsabers. His from episode 1. Is it 1 and 2? I don't know. 1 and 2, I think. His from episode 3, and then I have Obi-Wan's from Star Wars.
Yep.
So to me, Obi-Wan's new saber, which is the same as old Obi-Wan's saber, is the one. So I got him to sign a plaque that it will go in the case with my Obi-Wan episode 3 lightsaber.
Yes. And similarly, I got a plaque made because when we were at Rhode Island Comic Con a few years ago, I had a plaque made for Hayden Christensen to sign to go with my Hot Toys Anakin figure, who I display next to my Hot Toys Obi-Wan. So I also had a plaque made that I got him to sign that bookends very nicely with my Anakin.
Hold up both ears at the same time.
He basically signs his first initial and his last initial. So it's not much of an autograph.
It's not much to it. Yours is a little more
unique enough that they're clearly legit. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I'll send you a picture of this plaque plus the two of them standing next to each other with the plaques, and it really displays really well. I'm very happy with it.
Well, not that at the same time I sent this in, spoiler, not that it's a spoiler, but I sent in this plaque for my episode 3 Hayden Christensen Darth Vader lightsaber. That signing hasn't happened, so those are next to each other. So I have the episode 3 Obi-Wan and episode 3 Darth Vader one, and I'm getting him to sign that.
So you'll have the sabers side by side, and I'll have the Hot Toys figures side
exactly.
by side.
Yeah. But so this signing was to take place at the ACE convention
in Texas,
along with a bunch of other people, which was canceled because of COVID and stuff. But Star Wars Autograph Universe has got enough going on where they were able to get Ewan McGregor to do the signing aside from what he was going to do at ACE, which is awesome.
And what's amazing is that there was a lot of online complaining because all the people that had bought passes to see him at that convention and meet him, they didn't get their autographs. But those of us that signed up through Star Wars Autograph Universe actually got them, which is...
Oh, that wasn't... it was actually Boston.
Oh, was it Boston? I thought it was Texas. Yeah,
it was because I was thinking of going. When they announced Ewan McGregor, I was going to go, and I think this it sold out. I was going to go and do a photo op and all that because he's my favorite Star Wars character.
So hopefully, when all this dust settles and now that he's done filming Kenobi, maybe he'll show up at a show again in the future for to make up for that cancellation. But
yeah, that'll be interesting. So yeah. So those are, they're small and they're like, but it's cool to have with an item.
Well, and you and I feel the same way about this. I would much rather meet the person and have the experience. But somebody like this, to get something is authentic, when you may never have the opportunity to meet
Yeah,
him, and
for sure.
it's worth it.
For sure. So, and what else? You got something else?
Yes. Yeah, so the other thing, this is my vintage Max Rebo action figure. This is from Return of the Jedi. As you can see, he started out all one color, and over the years his arms and head have faded, and I didn't really even realize that because he's been in my display case forever.
He actually looks really good like that two-tone.
Yeah, it's an interesting look. It looks like he was wearing sleeves and a hat, but nothing else at the beach, and he's tanned everywhere but his arms and his face. But anyway, like he sits in the little piano thing in my display case, and it was, I don't know, a month or two ago, I looked at him and I realized, holy shit, that figure has faded in a really weird way. Or none of my other figures have done that. So, and then I looked online and I saw, man, most of them are like that. So I set about replacing him, and I replaced him with this guy, which, when you look at them side by side,
wow, yeah, he's faded.
You can really see how much, and actually, this under the light, it actually gets washed out. But if I pull it back, you can see the difference. So not
Barry,
an expensive
is
figure.
Is it different plastic?
I guess the head and the arms are a different plastic because they faded in a way that the rest of him didn't.
Because the other one clearly is faded also. It's just not as much.
It's not as much, right? And it'll probably end up looking like this over time, but when I look at my 100-plus vintage figures and they all look perfect and this one didn't, I couldn't. Yeah. So,
that's a good upgrade.
And it actually feels a little tacky on the one that's faded, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that
figure.
I would bet that's like a different plastic. Yeah, that's interesting.
So, not an expensive upgrade, but he looks way better. I'll take a picture of them side by side so you can see them. But, yeah, just, I have a few additional what's in the boxes for next week that I've been adding a few vintage Star Wars items to my collection, and getting him was the beginning of that. That's cool. So, yeah.
Cool. Okie dokie. What's next week? Do we have any idea? We probably don't. But it'll be something.
It will be something.
So check out our Instagram, the regular. I wrote this down. The Regular Joe's podcast on Instagram. You'll see these pictures. Like them, please. Comment, ask us, tell us, say something. That'd be good. Any last thoughts? I'm afraid to ask.
I don't have any last thoughts this week.
Anytime I ask, no one has one.
Well, thankfully, nobody important has passed away this week.
Well, that's not all about... Last thoughts are always about people dying.
I know, but it kind of became our in memoriam segment.
And then when we try to bring... If we try to bring those things up during random topics, you tell us they should be in last thoughts. So, yeah, that's...
No, I don't. I've never said that.
You have totally done that before. You did that,
when Bill Shatner dies on the Blue Origin, we're going to bring it up.
Yep. So.
Good luck, Bill. We don't want to see anything happen.
Godspeed.
We're pulling for you. Yep. Second star to the right, straight on till morning.
We're pulling for you, and so are those G-forces.
Or 50.
Yeah,
or 15
George Takei may not be, but we are.
Yep.
Anyway. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Hey.